From Yarm to Yibby, Harrington to Horsley Hill, Swalwell to Silverlink. The North East Footy Breakfast with Roy, Steve and Ted.
Right across the North East, the Red, the Toon and the Cat.
Good morning, North East. It is the North East Footy Brekky Show with me, Steve, with Rye, and with Ted, and with Daz.
Good morning.
Good morning, lads.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Morning.
Everybody. Say good morning, everyone.
The final week, and we are looking at an England squad today. 30-man squad, training squad, going to be announced. Will Anthony Gordon make it into the manager's thinking? Will Phil Foden, the Player of the Year, get to play in the position that he should be playing, the number 10 role? Will Harry Kane be fit? Lots of questions to answer on that particular score today. We'll find out later this morning. We'll ask the lads though who they think should be in. 0330 043 2002 if you want to give us your opinion as well. The transfer rumour mill has already started. Newcastle linked with 85 players already. Tony to Tottenham, Barkley to Villa, Richarlison to Saudi, McAllister to Real Madrid. Who's going where? Who's going to be the big money signings this year? Will we see a 150 to 200 million pound player this summer? Lots of questions to ask on that. Liverpool have finally confirmed that Arne Slot's going to be the new manager. He's going to join on a 3-year contract. He is going to be in position on June the 1st. Will he slot in? Is the question we're going to ask today. And which position is a priority for our three big northeastern clubs, Newcastle, Sunderland, Middlesbrough? Goalkeeper, striker, I'm going to ask the lads for their opinions, which position they would like to see filled the most. Ian Wright as well, emotionally stepped down from his position on Match of the Day this weekend. Just want to ask the lads and you, the listener, dear listeners, who is your favourite pundit at this moment in time? Is it Alan Shearer? Is it Gary Neville? Jamie Carragher? Or is it Richard Keys? 0330 043 2002 is the number to give your answer to that as well. And Pochettino done so well at Chelsea in the last couple of months, but he doesn't know whether he'll be in a job next year. He said his phone is going to stay on. Has he done enough to stay in the job? And with Pep managing to win 4 out of 4, I want to know who you think is the best ever Premier League manager so far. Is it Pep? Is it Fergie? Does Klopp deserve to be at the top of the tree? Arsene Wenger and the Invincibles, who could forget them? And Jose Mourinho. That's your choice. Let us know. 0330 043 2002. Of course, we will be opening Steve's X-Files a little bit later. And seeing as though the lads like putting me through agony of a quiz, I did one with Ryan the other day. I am going to do another musical quiz with the lads later on. Gives Ted a chance to show his knowledge as well. I've got to be honest, it's quite easy. I'm going to predict that Ted's going to get at least 9 out of 10 on this one, but it's
a big claim.
I'm putting you under pressure. But as always, we will go around the grounds for our club updates at Newcastle, Sunderland and Middlesbrough.
Magpies and Proud, Mags News.
Newcastle United will show their friendly matches against Spurs and A-League All-Stars this week online via NUFC TV. The great news is it is free to current season ticket holders and members, but if you're not a season ticket holder or member, then you have to pay $4.99 a month, $4.99 per game, or $7.99 per game. Season ticket holders and members will receive emails with an individual promo code today, and it needs to be filled in and confirmed by midnight tonight. And after a debut season for Newcastle, during which he impressed at under 21 level and signed his first professional contract, Leo Sahar has been named in England's under 17 squad for the European Championship finals. The 17-year-old fullback, who left Wolves last summer, appears in a 21-man selection for the 16-team tournament in Cyprus, which begins on Monday. And in response to claims online that a deal had been agreed between Newcastle and Arsenal for Aaron Ramsdale, the England international goalkeeper responded by posting "News to me" on his socials. That's in Newcastle headlines on Tuesday the 21st of May.
Mackems and Proud, Black Cats News.
Good morning, Sunderland fans. Sunderland's under-21 side came from behind to claim a dramatic 4-3 win over Reading after extra time. But how did each player fare for the young Cats? Well, Trey Ogunsui scored a last-gasp winner in the 120th minute when the game appeared to be heading to penalties at the Select Car Leasing Stadium. That winner came after Sunderland captain Ellis Taylor had completed his hat-trick in the 99th minute to take the game to extra time, sending Graham Murphy's side through to the final of the Premier League 2 playoffs, where they'll face Tottenham. Elsewhere, Sunderland have stepped up their interest in Sheffield United midfielder Oliver Norwood, although they're one of several Championship clubs keen on acquiring his services. Having made over 250 appearances for the Blades, it was announced last week this his 6-year stay at Bramall Lane would come to a close at the end of the season. And finally, it looks like we can remove one of the names out of the hat to become next Sunderland head coach. Paul Heckingbottom is emerging as one of the front runners as Plymouth Argyle close in on appointment of a new boss. Sunderland's Championship rivals are searching for a new head coach after the dismissal of Ian Foster in the closing stages of the campaign. That's your Sunderland updates.
Smoggies and Proud. Borough News.
Good morning, my off-season Borough fans. How are we? You enjoying your break? Missing Carrick Ball? Missing Riley Legree running down the left? I know I am. Missing Hayden Hackney in the middle? It'll come back soon. A first pro contract for Max Howes has been outlined by Middlesbrough yesterday, giving the youngster an absolute fantastic first pro contract. The Stockton-born attacking midfielder emerged as a regular for under-21s in the first half of the 23-24 season, and much of the second half was spent gaining senior experience on loan at Whitby Town. He was on an initial month loan deal with the Seasiders, but it was quickly extended after he scored a first half hat-trick in a win over Matlock Town. Max returned to Borough to feature in the Premier League 2 playoffs at Reading, his 16th appearance for the season and the under-21s. Congratulations, Max. And also congratulations to AJ Matthews and Law McCabe, who link up with the under-18s this week. The academy duo, who each made team debuts during this campaign, are part of the 23-man squad as this age group prepared to enter the under-19 UEFA competition next season. The Young Lions will welcome Northern Ireland to the National Football Centre on Wednesday, the 22nd of May. Congratulations to those two lads. Congratulations to you, Borough fans, for coping without football. Bring it back.
Together across the northeast.
The Toon, the Cat and the Red.
Alright, the England squad, the 30-man training squad is going to be announced today. I think we've spoken quite a few times on the show about the potential of the same old, shall we say, being involved. The likes of Jordan Henderson, Kieran Trippier, also Harry Kane. Going with a few of the older heads, but there is some new blood coming through. But I think looking at the England squad, the potential England squad, when he eventually has to whittle it down for the Toon, I think the biggest problem Gareth Southgate is going to have is the midfield lads, and there are going to be a few disappointed people. And I've championed Anthony Gordon, and I know you lads have said he's had a wonderful season for Newcastle. That injury that he sustained at Manchester United, I hope it's not too serious and he doesn't miss out because of that. I hope if he does miss out, it is simply down to the fact that Southgate decides that there are better players. But there is there is so many great players that could go, and he's got some decisions to make. Apart from Anthony Gordon, just looking at potentials, Bowen from West Ham, Maddison from Spurs, and Eze from Crystal Palace. There's three names I'll chuck at you. And they've all had great seasons this season. Granted, Bowen has been electric for West Ham. He scored 16 goals. Maddison, who Newcastle chased quite a bit, had a little layoff with an injury for a while. He's only scored 4 goals this season. I don't think that's enough to get him in England place. Eze for Crystal Palace. Now, stats can be misleading. He scored 11 goals this season, but he had a better end to the season than he did the start of the season. Again, another player which has been beset by injuries throughout the season, niggling little injuries, nothing too serious. But would you say out of those three that Bowen's in the driving seat? I mean, 33 games, 16 goals, 6 assists, already got 7 England caps to his name, as opposed to Maddison, 26 starts this season, 4 goals, 9 assists. He's had 6 England caps. Eze, very much the new boy on the block as far as England's concerned. He's had 24 games this season, 11 goals, 4 assists, and 2 England caps he's already got. So, who would you take, Ted, in the Euros?
The midfield is the toughest one out of the lot. I mean, owing to injuries, I think defence kind of almost sorts itself out a little bit. But yeah, midfield, you're right to point it out, mate, because notwithstanding that, you've got the likes of Cole Palmer in there, you've got the likes of Declan Rice. Declan Rice has got to go. He's got to be part of that squad. But I just don't see a place for James Maddison. I don't think his form's been good enough. He's off the boil at this moment in time. I'll be looking at Eze rather than Maddison. And Bowen, for me, is a must because he's been so consistent over the season. Eze, yes, he's finished the season strongly, like you said. But what you need is absolute consistency. You're somebody who's not going to improve as the tournament goes on. You want somebody who's going to hit the ground running. It's a really, really tough one because in amongst all that, you've got Saka, who pretty much plays in the same position as Bowen. Anthony Gordon, probably a little less competition on the left side. I think that could suit him. And of course, Phil Foden has to go and play in the natural position that he was meant to do. I don't buy this from Gareth Southgate playing Phil Foden out of position. It's ridiculous. The Man City have just won 4 Premier Leagues on the bounce of Phil Foden playing a central role. So you're telling me that Southgate knows better than Pep? Do us a favour. He's got to play in the number 10 role and then build the side around him. That's what has to be done as far as England's concerned. As much as I love Jordan Henderson and being a great servant for England, sorry, but you can't take him. Absolutely not.
What's your feelings, Ray? I mean, I know you're an Aussie, but you can talk about it. Listening to those stats for those, the midfield's intriguing. I mean, I'll speak a little bit about the centre forward role as well. But would you say Bowen's more of a shoe-in when he comes to pick his final squad because of his stats, or do you think he's going to go more for the new boy on the block in Eze or Maddison?
Yeah, no, I think it's when it comes to Gareth Southgate, it's who he trusts. I don't think stats come into it. Form doesn't come into it. If form came into it and stats came into it, then hello, Jordan Henderson, how are you? So he picks on who he can trust, who he knows can do the job, and who he believes in. We saw it evident the same thing at Middlesbrough. I mean, we saw Jeremy Aladier constantly getting a game back in his tenure when he was absolutely shocking, but he trusted him up front, and it was just like that sort of that mindset. I think that was a bit of his downfall. I mean, he was actually unfortunately undone by the selections of players that he trusts, and it's the same here in England. You're seeing history repeat itself. Jordan Henderson, I think he'll go with Maddison. I think Bowen has got the potential, and I think Bowen will be in the squad, but I think Maddison's he's also going to go with both of them because he trusts Maddison. I think he's got the experience as well, and he knows he can do a role. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what he does end up selecting, but I'm expecting not many surprises. I think you're going to look at it and just go, oh my God, Gareth, what have you done, sort of thing, and then that'll be it. So that's what I'm expecting today when England announce the squad for sure.
Daz, what's your thoughts, mate?
Yeah, there is part of me that's thinking, they should give as a go. Really, they should. I know he's had a really exciting end to the season, and it is all about momentum, isn't it? With these squads, it is about how players have built up, and you look at someone like Maddison, who's really struggled with momentum. I'm a Maddison fan. I think he was a great signing, but he's been marred by injury. Has he got the momentum? Yeah, he's got tournament experience, which Southgate loves, as we know, and I do think that is important. I do think it is important to know how to manage a tournament. How to to deal with the rush of games early on, and then the time sat around doing not a lot as well, and dealing with the press and dealing with the fan and all those things that you've got to do when you manage a tournament. So I think Maddison will go on that one, but I'd like to see someone like Eze give it a go. Him or Bowen, if it came down to it, I think at this point in time, I would go with Eze. I'd like to see someone with a bit of spirit, with a little bit of creativity, who you're not quite sure will do to bring off the bench and to turn a game. So I think for me, I'd like to see Eze have a go at it.
I mean, goal scorers is where it's at. Goals win games. I mean, Phil Foden this season, 19 goals from his number 10 role. Harry Kane went to Germany, Bundesliga, and scored over 40 goals in his debut season. We know he's going to be the number one choice if he's fit. You've already mentioned Cole Palmer, 22 goals for Cole this season. Yeah. An amazing player, coming really in form as well. Who else deserves to go, Ted, on the striking front? I mean, Ollie Watkins is up there, 19 goals this season. Just behind Alexander Isak on 21, of course, but there's also Dominic Solanke, who has had a bit of England experience. You've already mentioned Saka. He scored 16 goals this year as well. Nicholas Jackson has done okay for Chelsea as well, but we're not short of goal scorers, but I think what we're short of is finding the right combination.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. I said all along that Solanke absolutely should be in there. He's had a great season. Again, it's about consistency. He hasn't just done it in flashes. The guy's been good all season. The other one I mentioned as well, if he was fit for it, was Callum Wilson. Yeah. If you're considering taking Marcus Rashford, then you've got to take Callum Wilson instead because he's scored more goals than him.
Hang on.
It's as simple as that.
Would you consider taking Rashford then?
No,
because I was going to say me neither.
And I wouldn't take Wilson. Unfortunately, Wilson hasn't played enough football this season. You've got to be honest. He hasn't. He's been injury prone, and I think there's strikers out there who can do the job just as well as Wilson. I mean, there's no room for sentiment. Yeah, he's black. He's number 9 at Newcastle. He's black and white, but he just hasn't played enough games.
But his games to goal ratio, Steve, you can't argue with it. And you're talking about the tournament as well, so it doesn't have to be a starting member. I think Callum Wilson is somebody who you can bring off the bench if fit. This is the big question. Yeah. If fit, he knows where the goal is, and even with limited playing time, he's done better statistically than what Marcus Rashford has. And I'll bet you now. That Southgate is wanting to take Rashford because
I would say you're right on that score. Comparing it to Rashford, 100%, Ted, 100%. But Solanke's played 38 games this season and he's scored 19 goals. Yeah. Solanke can do the same job as Callum Wilson for me.
Absolutely, and so really, it's Ollie Watkins and Solanke for me would be the two to take. That's assuming that Harry Kane is actually going to be fit for it. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I don't see why he shouldn't be given a shot. I mean, Calvert-Lewin's barely torn up any trees this season. Ivan Toney may be an outside shout, but again, because of the amount of time he spent off, I just can't see it. So I reckon Solanke definitely. Ollie Watkins has definitely earned his place.
Yeah, I think the thing for me, Tony, is it goes back to that momentum point, isn't it? I think he scored 1 goal in 13 in his last 13 appearances, something like that. I don't think Tony deserves a place on the bus. I think there are others that do. I mean, Cole Palmer's an interesting.
He's going on a bus.
Cole Palmer's the interesting one, isn't it? Because 22 goals, young player of the season.
He'll get selected.
Yeah.
He'll get selected.
Yeah,
he's in there.
100%.
Him and Isak will get selected as well. Have you heard Isak talk, by the way? He's got a better English accent than you, lads.
Isak, do you think we could slip him in and just say...
Yeah, I reckon you're going to slip him in. Did you hear him talk? I heard him do an interview yesterday or the day before. He honestly speaks better Pommy than you, lads. Honestly, that is incredible.
That's not hard for us to know.
Select him. Select him, honestly.
Go on, right. Cole Palmer, 34 games, 22 goals.
He'll get in. He'll have to get in. Yeah, he'll have to get in. He's honestly, he's just had a fantastic season. He's the reason Chelsea have turned it around. And he's, you can't not take him. And if you're going on form, do you know what I mean? Cole Palmer's going to even start, I would argue as well. How you find a place in, that squad for him is up to Gareth. But Cole Palmer's got to go. He's been absolutely sensational. The reason Chelsea finished 6th is all down thanks to him. And I know it was a few penalties and stuff like that. But if you even just watch the games that he played, the movement that he had when he was full of confidence, my goodness me, he's even going to go in that team of the year, I would argue. You've got Phil Foden, him, Rice. Saka, Watkins, all those lads there have got to get a shout, and it's incredible. What a squad he's got, and honestly, he's got the best chance more than ever to win this Euro tournament. And I'd be asking big questions of England if you guys don't make the final.
033 2002 is the number if you want to get involved on the WhatsApp. We're going to send Daz up in the helicopter now for the travel news.
From Wickham to Whitley Bay, Stonygate to Shields, Doggy to Darlow Backlane, Steve, Ted and Rye. The North East Footy Breakfast.
Right across the northeast, the red, the tune and the cat.
Yeah, welcome back to the North East Footy Brekky Show, which has been we've ended up talking about England during the break whilst you were listening to the adverts. Just talking about the back four. Rye was saying we've got the best chance of winning it because he genuinely thinks that we've got the best attacking options. But we were saying, well, yeah, but the back four is a worry because they haven't played a lot of games. But yeah, Rye, you were enthusing about England's chances with the attacking formation.
It's just like the threat that England have got this Euros tournament up front is incredible, and that's the thing. And I think we all agree that the back four, back five are the weak points for England. It's the goals they're going to leak. But I mean, you've got Cole Palmer, Ollie Watkins. The list goes on of what the attacking threat he can bring on, and if he can't find goals in this team, it'll be like Middlesbrough does. Do you know what I mean? Where we were last season, we were probably leaking goals, but my goodness, we were still outscoring them.
Yeah.
I mean, you got Harry Kane, Declan Rice, Bellingham, Phil Foden in the form of his life. The absolute incredible, attacking threat that this squad's going to pose is tenfold. But then you've got Pickford, you've got Maguire, you've got Stones, who hasn't really played, like you said, Steve. You've got Kyle Walker, you've got Kieran Trippier, who's been in and out of Newcastle towards the end here. So there's big questions for me around that back, and I honestly think, Steve, that because Pope played in that last game of the season, that he's worth a shout as well taking.
Yeah, I mean, Gareth Southgate was, watching Newcastle at Brentford. He'll have been watching. He'll have gone down, I guess, to watch one or two players down there. But certainly Pope would have been on his list, and he couldn't have failed to be impressed. Two wonderful saves by Nick Pope on the day, and they were match-winning saves. To be honest, yeah, Ted, the back four is an issue. I mean, we know for a fact that Pickford will be the number one choice, and he's had a good season. It has to be said, despite
absolutely,
despite the fact that Everton spent most of the time either having points deducted or fighting a relegation battle, but he's been great again. It's not a position we're struggling. You chucked in a curveball as well of somebody who you might take as a goalkeeper.
Well, yeah, I mean, listen, there's options all over there, but I think Jack Butland has been in great form for Rangers. Ran them very close. I watched them a couple of times just by accident because the Scottish games were on early and I ended up watching them before the real football came on. But honestly, he has been good. Yes, I said it. Yeah, I know. I don't regret it. Yes, good morning to our Scottish listeners. Jack Butland, of course, was somebody who was in and around the England squad when he first burst on the scene. It's at Stoke City. He's still relatively young. He had a bit of a dodgy spell. He's had to kind of reinvent his career again, but he looks to be coming back strongly. And he's somebody who I always thought was headed to be a number one goalkeeper eventually. Yeah, an outside chance that he could at least make the squad. I mean, he's got just as much right as what Aaron Ramsdale has, who's barely played any football this season. So I would honestly take a good look at Jack Butland, as well as the usual, obviously, Nick Pope. Yes, I think he deserves a mention as well. Certainly, again, more so than what Aaron Ramsdale would, because he just hasn't played enough football. But defensively, lads, I actually, when you sent this through, Steve, I kind of thought, who would I look at as a defensive lineup? And I actually went for a back five with mine. I went as centre backs. I went with Walker. Because obviously he has played in that position. I think as a right-sided centre-back, you're not going to find any quicker than that anywhere in European football. Tomori from AC Milan, who I don't think has had the exposure he deserves in an England shirt yet. He's playing in defensively one of the best leagues in Europe. So I think Tamori definitely deserves a bit more of a run out. And I think Branthwaite is the other centre-back. I honestly think there's a quality player there. He is going to move to a bigger and better club very, very soon. And I think that's exactly the sort of player you need to blood and start and get on there. Wing backs, I went with Rico Lewis from Man City, who also can deputise as a defensive midfielder, which obviously in a tournament arena, I think that's important that you've got that sort of cover there. And this is going to be controversial because he hasn't played a lot of football since he come back from injury, but he is back. And for me, he is one of the best full-backs in European football, is Reece James.
Yeah, Reece James is another one who's been he's been through the mill though, hasn't he, with injury? So again, there is question marks over the back four. You know, Maguire's been out, Trippier's been out, Reece James has been out, Kyle Walker's been out, Stones hasn't played a massive amount, but when he's played well because, you know, obviously Man City rotate their team so much. So that is the concern, and it's an aging back four as well.
Yeah, it is.
Daz, you've got the answer here. Daz, you've got the answer here.
Go on.
He's bald. He's beautiful.
Matt Clark.
Matt Clark! Select him, Gareth! Best centre back in the world.
Yeah, right.
The big bald Eenie. Get him in.
Yeah. Well, talk about momentum. He's had sort of momentum towards the end of the season, hasn't he?
That's it.
Yeah.
See, Daz?
He could get a move to a big club as well, couldn't he?
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
With a
I've
manager.
just had a message here, lads. Just on this subject, I've just had a message here from Big Nige. It's Southgate we're talking about. It's the international squad selection equivalent of reading through the entire takeaway menu and ordering the same thing you've ordered for the last 10 years.
Yeah, that's correct.
Yes, I have.
That's
Analogy.
exactly right.
What a great...
Yeah.
Hats off,
Yeah.
Nige. Hats off,
Yeah,
Sergio.
well done.
Nige.
Well done. Yep. I'll take the number 2 Henderson, the 13 Bellingham
With a mushroom
one
pilau.
order of the Hurricane, one spring roll, and give me Maguire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's right. It's great, that.
It'll all be announced later on, though. I'm sure we'll have a little bit more to discuss about that on tomorrow's show. Now, a change of subject, and not one I put on the list this morning, lads.
Oh no.
Daz, you like to interview celebrities, and you like to interview people who've made a difference in life.
Yeah.
So, Ben Tollett.
Okay.
Do you know who he is?
Ben Tollett.
Yeah, don't Google him.
No. Name doesn't ring a bell off the top of my head.
Well, I'm not surprised at that, because yesterday I took a little bit of time out to do a bit of research, and I think you should get this guy on. I'm going to read this little article that he wrote, and it's about his career. So here we go. It won't take long, lads, but I'm sure you'll enjoy it. Towards the start of my career, I wrote an ad campaign for a travel company called Travelocity, which was looking to raise its profile in the UK. The idea hinged on a British TV celebrity called Alan Wicker. Alan was a renowned journalist and broadcaster, one of the greatest presenters ever to grace British television screens, and instantly recognisable thanks to his trademark blazer, moustache and thick-rimmed spectacles. And because Alan was a great sport, he kindly agreed to do the job. The job involved Alan talking in a funny Welsh accent, Alan being buried up to his neck in sand on a windy beach, Alan lying on a sushi conveyor belt, Alan being crowbarred into a tiny desk drawer, and Alan inhaling helium, speaking in a squeaky voice. Alan presenting the camera while standing fully clothed in a jacuzzi. I could go on, but you get the gist.
Yes.
Needless to say, the British public loved the ads. Alan was applauded all over the national press, and we won a fair few awards. At one particularly grand show, we were invited on stage to collect the Grand Prix, the biggest award of my career. The spotlight followed us to the stage, the host handed us our award, and the photographer asked us to shuffle back so he could get a shot. I did as asked and promptly fell backwards off the podium. The room went silent for a moment, then burst into laughter. The awards host looked down at me, spread-eagled on the floor, and said, "Don't worry, no one can see you." Needless to say, the walk back to the table seemed quite long. At that time, I thought I'd ruined the greatest moment of my career. But off the back of that award, I was hen-hunted by DDB. The guy who hired me had been sat at that very award show laughing his head off. Which just goes to show, as Alan Wicker knew only too well, there are times when it's good to look stupid. Ben Tollett, Executive Creative Director at Adam and Eve DDB in London. There we go, lads.
Wow.
Fantastic.
Amazing, eh?
Wow.
Absolutely fantastic. Love it.
Get him on.
Get Ben on the show.
Get Ben on the show.
Get him on.
Yeah.
Get him on.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that is
I did try to
fantastic.
Google him there, Steve. I'm not going to lie. And all I found was a winger who plays for Chester on loan from Oldham called Ben Tollett. But so I was thinking he's a talented lad if he's done all that and he's playing professional football. Like
Exactly. Well, that's great. So, yeah, this whole obsession
love it.
with Alan Wicker is going to new levels, everybody. And people who've just tuned in this morning going, I thought this was a North East Footy Brekky show. It's actually this Alan Wicker advert that keeps getting played, which I'm sure will get played this morning, and it's become an obsession of ours. Anyway.
yes, it has.
Arnie Slot is now the worst kept secret in football. Is going to replace Jurgen Klopp. Yes, he's left, just in case you didn't know, at Liverpool.
What?
Right, he's signing a 3-year contract. Just want to know, do the lads think he will slot in? Coming from Feyenoord, right? He's done well. He's done well there. And I watched the Vox Pops yesterday on Sky News, where the Feyenoord fans were waxing lyrical about him. A lot of praise for him, a lot of love for him there, a lot of disappointment that he's leaving. Right choice for Liverpool, this, do you think?
He looks exactly like Ten Hag, which is funny. They look exactly. I mean, maybe I'm just being rude because he's bald as well. But I mean, he's saying, it was a fantastic opportunity for him. Feyenoord had great success there. He's a very, very tactical, well-balanced coach, very calm. He's got Jurgen Klopp vibes, to be honest with you. Liverpool ended up paying obviously £9.4 million to get him across as well. So, look, there was a lot riding on it, and I think we all said, and I think Ted was saying it as well, whoever replaced Jurgen was going to have a tough job, aren't they? Do you know what I mean? No matter who it was, whoever goes in there is going to have a real big job on their hands. They're going to have to do a bit of a rebuild because you would think Salah leaves, Van Dijk leaves. It was interesting to see as well. Darwin Núñez, did you guys catch that on Klopp's last game? Did you see what he did? You guys can see this. So Darwin Núñez.
No.
Obviously Jurgen Klopp had a wall, an applause, walk through the players where they all, gave him a wall of honor sort of thing, and they all clapped. Well, everyone was clapping for, Jurgen Klopp, and the coach is leaving, and Darwin Núñez was there. He was up near with Salah, and as Jurgen Klopp gets closer, Darwin Núñez stops clapping and puts his arms in crosses his arms. And then as soon as Jurgen's past him, he uncrosses his arms and stops clapping again.
No.
He made it so very evident not to clap for Jurgen and Klopp. So there's something there. And the footage is damning as well. So look, it's a big job for Arne. He's got a massive rebuild on his hand, and it's a very, very big turnover of players, I think, this summer. But he's got a lot of youngsters there, doesn't he? He's got, and he's arguably got one of the bigger budgets now as well to go in, especially if they get 100 and whatever mil for Salah as well. So yeah, good luck to him. Wish him all the best. But he's really just a poor man's Carrick.
Tough one. Is it tough act to follow? Klopp, can Slot do it? Do you think, Ted?
I mean, I listened to the interview from a Dutch journalist talking about Slot and the kind of football he plays, and they have gone for pretty much a direct replacement in terms of philosophy of football, high press, high energy kind of play. I think while Slot, he's kind of a little bit unlucky that he's getting Van Dijk and he's getting Salah towards the end of their career. Rightly, Rye has pointed out there's some very exciting young talent there. We talked yesterday about the likes of Bobby Clark, players that are coming through that are very, very exciting, that have already been blooded in Premier League football as well and not looked out of place. Let's not forget that young side finished third. It's no disgrace with the likes of Núñez, who, well, I mean, I've seen his barn door and it's absolutely spotless, isn't it? So he's somebody who needs to improve or ship out. And I think there will be funds available for Liverpool to do that. They haven't really bought big for a long time. Quite rightly, they've gone through this developmental phase of bringing young lads through. Again, Arne Slot is somebody who's worked at the youth level, brought a lot of players through at Feyenoord. He's even used the loan system, as you know, Steve. He's used it very well in the likes of Minty. They've essentially they've overachieved. I mean, they've absolutely walloped Ajax this season as well by playing very, very attractive football. I'm excited to see what he does. He's maybe not going to have the charm and charisma that Klopp had. I know that's not everyone's taste, but I just feel, I think he's a good replacement. I think they'll have to give him time. You can't expect miracles from day one. Like I said, there's a little bit of a rebuild to do. But from what everybody's saying in Holland and looking at his track record, I think it's a very exciting time for Liverpool now. Yeah, let's see what they've got.
Just before the travel and an ad, Daz, what's your views on Slot? Do you think he's going to do well at Liverpool? Do you think it's the right choice?
I mean, he looks like it on paper. He's done well in the Dutch league, which is it notoriously the most difficult league in the world. He has that attacking style of football. Apparently, he works well. He's a good man manager about bringing it on and developing players. So you would think, he would be a good choice. I'm absolutely certain that Liverpool will have spent a lot of time on this, and would have investigated a lot of different options. I'm sure they would have talked to the other managers that we've talked about, over the last couple of months, history doesn't show well, does it? As we've said many times, history doesn't show that the manager that comes in straight after a very successful manager doesn't always work out well. But from what we've seen and heard of this guy, it looks as though he will be his own guy. He'll bring his own exciting brand of football, and and hopefully give players like Nunes a kick up the backside that they need from doing ridiculous things like that. It's there's a respect thing there, and that annoyed me. So I think he'll come in and he'll give it a good go of it.
033 2002. Let us know your thoughts. I am going to go rummaging through my old vinyl now to sort out my quiz. We will be back after this.
Together across the Northeast.
The Turn Black Cat and the Red.
Okay, welcome back to the Northeast Footy Brekky Show. 033 043 2002. We are on a wind down towards our summer break, and because of that, I decided to chuck in a little quiz because the lads
get on board.
And this one is called, because the Euros are on the way, I thought I'd give it a name which was relevant to the Euros, and it also gives us a way of the lads being able to tell us that they've got the answer to this particular musical quiz. So this quiz is called Hello World, and basically what I want you to do, lads, is if you know the answer to the song, you simply have to shout out in your best Alan Wicker impression, "Hello World," and then Daz, who is the adjudicator, will say that's Ted or that's Rye, and you can give us the answer. So
I'm gonna have to pay attention.
Yeah, you
turn me up, Daz.
So this basically is a cutthroat competition because it's Ted against Daz. This is Sunderland against Middlesbrough without a dodgy referee, because Daz isn't a dodgy referee.
Thank you for recognising that.
Yep.
We'll wait till the end.
So it's a music quiz, lads, and it's a football related music quiz. They're all football songs. I've been down the bookies with Tenali, and we've got a good deal on Ted winning this 100%. So here we go, lads. Record.
This is pressure, man.
Record number 1, Daz.
Okay.
Don't forget, you've got to shout "Hello World" in your best Alan Wicker impersonation.
Yeah.
We're going to guess the song.
Can I just say, I am pressing the button. You can hear me clicking.
Oh no.
Right, just give me 1 second. Yeah, just fill it and make it seamless.
Just say you won't let go.
Here we go. Oh, that's a rhyme. Hello World rhyme.
That's Kevin Keegan.
It is Kevin Keegan. Well done.
What's the song? You get an extra point for the song.
I don't know. I just know it's Kevin Keegan.
Hello, world.
Yeah, go on. Go on, Ted.
It's Head Over Heels.
Well done.
Oh, it is too. Ah, gosh.
Half a point each, Daz, I think.
Okay,
Half a point each. Half a point each. Well done. Great stuff. That was a tough one to start with, lads. Tough one to start with.
That was a tricky one, that, like.
All right, the next one.
It's a nice song, you know.
It's not bad.
It's a nice chorus, that, you know.
Yeah.
It is, isn't it? It's no James Arthur, but it's good.
He's not a bad singer, is he? Not a bad singer.
Hey, he can hold a tune, mate. Better than James Arthur.
Okay, moving on, Teddy boy. Right, this is number 2. Here we go. You ready?
Yep, hit me.
Bit of a quiet intro on this one.
Oh.
Hello, world.
Oh, hello world. We've got a. Hang on, let me just stop that there. Hello world, Rye.
That's the England song that Ant and Dec did.
Oh, he's got half an answer again.
Can you remember what it was
Oh,
called?
I don't know.
Hello,
what it's
world.
called.
Hello, world.
Hang on. Any ideas?
Hello, world.
Rye? Yeah, we know. Rye.
No.
It's
Come on.
the England song. It was the official England song that Ant and Dec did.
Okay.
England.
I'm giving you half a point for that one, Teddy boy.
England.
We're on the ball.
Well
We're on the ball.
Well done.
Oh, mother! I should have left it longer. This is ridiculous.
Do you know
He's
what?
just picking up my scraps.
I am.
I am as well. I'm not gonna lie. I'm struggling today with this. It's like this is not good.
Do you know I have blanked this from my memory?
I did as well.
Yes.
They did another one called Sven. You're an Eriksen as well.
Did they really? Oh my gosh.
Brilliant.
Right, we won't be playing that after the
Try and
news.
work on your Alan Wicker impersonations, lads.
Oh yes.
Yes, it needs to be better. I might go in the woofers for the next one, Steve.
All right, okay.
Yeah, I got tweeters.
Okay, so
Because you're getting excited because you know the song, right? That's why you're just shouting.
Yeah.
here we go
Okay, the
then.
next one.
This is the third one. Here we go. This is number 3.
Hello, world.
Teddy boy.
It's Hoddle and Waddle with Diamond Lights.
Well done. Excellent.
Well done.
It is Diamond
Well
Lights.
done. I didn't know that one.
Glenn and Chris,
that one.
to give it their proper title.
Was it really? I thought they would have went with Waddle and Hoddle.
Yeah,
I
they
mean,
should
that
have,
makes
didn't
much more
they?
sense.
Yeah. So this was Diamond Lights. I remember this on Top of the Pops. The pair of them singing on
Good
Top of the
song,
Pops.
this, you know, for them.
I tell you what, that could quite easily be like Depeche Mode or somebody like that.
Yeah.
Did that win any awards? More than their club has.
The next one is one of my personal favourites.
Right. Well, the thing is, this we haven't actually got the official version of this one for this next one. So this is an unofficial version of it. But
Okay.
so right, let's, I'm hoping this one's the right one, Steve. So
You should have said I could have got me 7-inch out.
We got more stars than the cast of Dallas. We got
Hello,
more
world.
Buckingham Palace. Welcome.
oh, I'm so glad he said Buckingham Palace there. Oh, my little
Yes,
heart
me
went.
too.
Ted.
It's not the official version, yeah. I believe this is John Barnes and the Anfield Rap.
It is the Anfield Rap. Well done again.
Well done.
Nice
Yeah, well
one.
done.
Yep. Yeah, this isn't the official version.
Welcome to Fortress Anfield.
Dear me.
Oh, I didn't know they did that.
Walk on, with hope in your hearts. And you never
Dear me.
walk.
Right, then
This
this one
part's
then.
not aged well. It's
Right,
aged
so-
like milk, that, hasn't it?
Here we go. calls it. We've got a tweet to Hello World. Do you know, I'm thinking, is there something wrong with my ears? Right.
Yes, hello.
You've got far too much time on your hands, you like.
That's brilliant.
What on earth is that? Are you for real?
It is brilliant. That's what it is.
That is Alan Wicker. That is the England World Cup song. Oh no, I've not got the title. No, it's Home, Back Home.
But we'll give him that one. That's Back Home.
Literally the first two words.
Yes.
The 1970 World Cup?
Well done. Not getting anything for that, like Ted, but...
No.
Very good. Okay. Now...
Can't believe I didn't get that.
Yeah. Okay, right, so... No, I was just going to get that.
Here we go. Hello, world.
Oh, that's just so much funnier than it should be.
I've got this down.
Okay. I'm not sure. Right, I'll just keep going. Right, here we go. Next one. Oh, hang on.
Play it near the speaker.
Yeah, there we go.
Hello, world.
Oh. Right.
Hello, world.
Yeah.
That is that's another England World Cup song. It's 1982 because I just heard them say 1982 at the start of the song.
What?
You got its
I
title.
don't know what it's called. It's an England World Cup squad song from 1982 because that's what they said at the start of the thing.
Hello, world.
But I don't know what it's called.
Come on then.
He's done it again.
Come on, Ted.
We have a dream.
Oh no, it's not. No,
Is it not?
No, it's this time we'll get it right. It was going through my head. This time we'll get it right. Yeah?
It is. Yeah. Here we go.
Oh.
Hello, world.
Why does it sound like
Hey,
a spectrum?
Suck on this.
What?
Stop giving me heart attacks, you lot. This time, more than any other time. This time. So this was my first World Cup that I remember. So I think I had this.
When did they stop doing World Cup songs, man?
This is an intro to a YouTuber that I watched as well.
Okay, all right, we'll move it on. We've got one. We've got a few more. I'm just conscious of the time as well. Yeah, but here we go. This is the next one.
Yeah, bring it on. The news will wait.
Yeah.
Come on, Ted.
Hello, world.
Ted.
Fat Les Vindaloo.
Well done there. Nice one.
Yeah.
This must be quite close, this.
Yeah.
I had absolutely nothing.
Me mum.
All right, next up. You're going to get this one.
Well, some of the crowd are on the pitch.
Hello, world.
Ted.
New Order singing for England.
No. Hello, world. Hello, world. No. It's me.
Go on then, Rai.
It's world in motion.
Oh, God, it is.
It is World in Motion, you're dead right.
I want that microphone right.
I know, yeah.
He's changed nothing.
What's the score, Taz? What's the score?
Oh, do you want to know, or do you want to do it at the end?
Okay.
Yeah, we've got
Keep it at the end, okay.
two more to
Two more
go.
left.
Yeah. All right, this one's a good one.
Right, come on.
Hello, world.
think Rye was there first.
Hello, world.
Yeah.
Is it me? Did I get it?
Yeah. Go on, Rye.
I can't actually hear you over my voice because when it changes, it goes in my ears. So, is it me?
Yes, it is you, Rye.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Say good morning, everyone. That's Aussie's Dream. The Tottenham song, Aussie's Dream.
It is the right answer. It is Aussie's Dream.
Bye. Come on, Ted.
Hello, world. Tottenham Hotspur and Chaz and Dave.
Yes, half a point each.
Yeah.
Get out. Get him out. That's cheating.
How's that cheating?
So there we go. The results are in, and we'll do them. Right after the 8 o'clock news, because it is that time, Steve.
News.
From Yarm to Yibby, Harrington to Horsley Hill, Swalwell to Silverlink, the North East Footy Breakfast with Roy, Steve and Ted.
Right across the northeast, the red, the tune and the cat.
It is the North East Footy Breakfast. Good morning. How are you doing this morning? Thank you for being here with us. You can give us a call at any point, 0330 or 43 2002, or drop us a WhatsApp. We'll have the results of the big quiz after this from Silver Twin.
When I think about the ploy, I wish that I didn't know what it's like to feel destroyed by someone I thought was close. I felt free in dreams, but even then, my own night lies to me. Oh, I'd do anything. Every
welcome back to the North East Footy Break Show 0330 043 2002. If you want to join in the fun with me, Ted and Rai and Daz. Good morning, lads.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Well, the radio station hasn't been shut down after the first half, God knows how. But, you know, there's still time yet for us to get more expletives out and various other things that we do wrong on this breakfast show. As always, plenty to talk about. We've been talking England this morning. We've been talking Arnie Slot and his imminent arrival at Liverpool. I've put the lads through a quiz, which we will get the big reveal to after the club updates and see who won the quiz. But we've still got plenty to come on here, including my X-Files, which I will be delving into just after 20 past 8. But as we always do, we shall go around the grounds to the Stadium of Light, to St James's Park and to the Riverside to hear the club updates.
Smoggies and Proud. Borough News.
Good morning, my off-season Borough fans. How are we? Max Howes has signed his first pro contract with the club. Congratulations to the Stockton-born attacking midfielder who has emerged as a regular for our under-21s in the first half of the season. With much of the second half spent gaining senior experience on loan at Whitby Town, an initial loan deal with the Seasiders was quickly extended after he scored a first half hat-trick in a win over Matlock Town. Max then returned to Borough to feature in the Premier League 2 playoffs at Reading, his 16th appearance for the season in the under-21s. Congratulations, Max. And congratulations continuing to Law McCabe and AJ Matthews, who've been selected for England under-18s ahead of 2 fixtures at St George's Park this week. The academy duo who made first-team debuts for the Borough this season are part of a 23-man squad as they prepare to enter the UEFA Under-19 competition next season. The Young Lions will welcome Northern Ireland to the National Football Centre on Wednesday the 22nd of May before they face Morocco on Sunday the 26th of May. And we are all waiting for that news of Michael Carrick signing that contract. So, in traditional...
Get it done.
Mackems and Proud. Black Cats News.
Good morning, Sunderland fans. Sunderland's under-21 side came from behind to claim a dramatic 4-3 semi-final win over Reading after extra time last night. Trey Ogunsui scored a last-gasp winner in the 120th minute when the game appeared to be heading to penalties at the Select Car Leasing Stadium. That winner came after Sunderland captain Ellis Taylor had completed his hat-trick in the 99th minute to take the game into extra time, sending Graham Mertyside through to the final of the Premier League 2, where they'll face Tottenham Hotspur. Elsewhere, Sunderland have stepped up their interest in Sheffield United midfielder Oliver Norwood, although they are one of several Championship clubs keen on acquiring his services. Having made over 250 appearances for the Blades, it was announced last week that his 6-year stay at Bramall Lane would come to a close at the end of the season. And finally, it looks like we can remove one of the names out of the hat to become the next Sunderland head coach. Paul Heckingbottom is emerging as one of the front runners as Plymouth Argyle close in on the appointment of a new boss. Sunderland's Championship rivals are searching for a new head coach after the dismissal of Ian Foster in the closing stages of the campaign. That's your Sunderland updates.
Magpies and Proud. Mags News.
Good morning, Newcastle United fans. Well, the club will show their friendly matches against Spurs and A-League All-Stars this week online via their official NEFB TV channel. It is free to current season ticket holders and it is free to members. If you haven't got a season ticket or you're not a member, then it is $7.99 a game. You'll find all the details on nefc.co.uk. And after a debut season for Newcastle, during which he has impressed at under-21 level and signed his first professional contract, Leo Sahar has been named in the England under-17 squad for the European Championship finals. The 17-year-old fullback who left Wolves last summer appears in a 21-man selection for the 16-team tournament in Cyprus, which begins on Monday. And in response to claims online that a deal has been agreed between Newcastle and Arsenal for Aaron Ramsdale, the England international goalkeeper responded by posting "News to me" on his socials. Transfer madness begins. That's in Newcastle headlines on Tuesday, the 21st of May.
Together across the northeast.
The two black cats and the red.
Okay, Daz, so before the news, we had a big musical quiz with a faux pas at the end, but never mind, we'll skip over that.
Move it on.
Moving on. Yes, who was the winner? Who are you declaring the winner?
Well, it
was Ted, wasn't
well
it?
done. It was a closely fought thing, and Rye, a valiant effort.
Thank you, mate.
With 4 points, but Ted
cheated.
Came out with joint winner actually.
What?
Yes, exactly. 6 points you got, Ted. But so did Daniil, who was playing along at the same time.
Well done, Daniil.
Yeah, so...
Well done, mate. Well done. I'll share the stage with Daniil. That's fine. The starter, hey, tell you what, that was great, that. I want more of them next season, Steve. Absolutely. That was a cracking little quiz, that.
Something a bit different.
Dig out them vinyls.
Yeah.
Bit
Absolutely.
Brilliant.
Okay,
well done. Thank you for that.
We've got plenty to get through in the next 45 minutes on the show, and just want to ask the lads, which position is priority for their clubs. Ted, start with you, without the obvious answer, which I would imagine is manager.
Yep, absolutely. You know me too well.
Is there a particular section of the pitch that Sunderland need to improve on, and is there a player in mind for Sunderland, do you think, in the transfer window?
Well, I mean, I think we've only been after one for about 2 years, and that's a striker. We are woefully short up front. I know we've got young lads who are sort of trying to step up. Mayenda went out on loan pretty unspectacularly up in Hibs. Rusin was the only one who out of the recognised strikers, who actually scored any goals whatsoever. He got 2 for the season, which is a pretty poor return for a striker anyway. Yeah, a centre forward is absolutely the most important thing we can do right now. There's a name that I thought we should have went for last season. He was in and out of the Swansea side this season after leaving Blackpool. I like Jerry Yates. I think at championship level, I think he's a good, solid striker. We want somebody who's going to upset people. Big physical presence. I like Gallagher at Blackburn. And I think, the chances are we might be able to get him. I know Blackburn are looking to extend his contract a little further because he's only got a year left. But we need to be going for someone of the stature of Sam Gallagher. He had a little bit of a dodgy time with injuries last season, but he still managed to get a few goals. And when you see him play, I watched him against Newcastle as well, Steve. He is physical. He can really rough up central defenders, and I think we're missing that. I think we're missing a bit of nastiness up front. We've got a very young, skinny, quick kind of look about our team, and not enough physical presence. So I'd say that's most important for Sunderland. Quickly followed by a holding midfielder. I think that's also what we could do with, and probably a centre back as well. Sorry, Luke.
Okay, we've got you, Rye, next for Middlesbrough. I'll come to you as well, Daz, on this. So, but Rye, what's the priority, do you think, for Middlesbrough? I guess for you, it's keeping a hold of players. You seem to have had a couple of transfer windows where you're letting your best players go, but who do you want in?
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. It's obviously probably tying down a few contracts, but for us, it's a striker. Obviously, we got Latte Lath, we got Josh Coburn, and then that's it. So we need some reinforcements in the striking department. I would say 2, possibly even 3 there. And then probably a midfield, obviously letting the likes of Lewis O'Brien, Sam Greenwood go, who are all on loan. They obviously need to they need to sort of get probably another midfielder, but we're not looking that desperate, to be honest with you. I'm only thinking 3, maybe 4 signings. I think the club revealed they're only looking about 4 to 5. But obviously Luke Ayling's going to be a done deal. You want Michael Carrick, and it's about it's tying some of those guys down. Riley McGree's in his last year. Get him on an 18-year contract. Michael Carrick, get him on a 44-year contract. Hayden Hackney as well. Offer him 88 years. And then after that, you can sort of start adding to it with the leftover money that we'd have. So I reckon 4 to 5 signings, but 2 of them desperately need to be a striker. We can't rely on Latte Lath and Josh Coburn to be our firing squad. Not that they can't do it, it's just purely due to injuries this season. We need more depth in some areas, because if we have anything like what we did this season with injuries, we need to have squad depth. Yes, we've got a great academy producing the likes of Lorne McCabe, AJ Matthews and stuff like that, but we need some strikers, or just some squad rotational players that can fill gaps when inevitably they will open up.
Are you similar kind of mindset to Ryan?
Yeah, I think one of the things that we're going to benefit from coming into next season is so many players returning from injury, it's going to feel like we've made 2 or 3 more signings when we look at some of the players that are going to be coming back in. But I agree with Ryan. I think we need another striker, or someone who can play up front alongside Latte Lath, as long as he remains with us, of course. Because I think, getting one striker, as Ted's just talked about, it's not easy buying a striker in the Championship. You quite often the money is ridiculous for them. So that's one thing. But if Latte Lath goes, we're going to have to find 2 strikers, and I think that's nigh on impossible. So I think a striker without a doubt, and then I would love to see a creative midfielder. Someone who can come in and spray the ball around. Someone who can, in some ways, what Greenwood threatened to offer at times, and he did. Someone who can place a free kick. Someone who can, put a pass that nobody else is expecting in. And I think, we've missed that for a good while now. We had it last season with Archer and some of the loan players that we brought in, but somebody who can create goals. But all joking aside, Rye, the one signing that I would just love to have tied down for next season, more than probably anyone, is our little Riley McGree. I think he's got a huge part to play for the Borough next season. That's the sort of player that I'd like another Riley McGree in there, someone who can score goals, create things, who's can just do bits of magic out of nothing. So I think getting him down to another contract would be a massive signing for the Borough.
Spoke with him yesterday.
Did you?
Yeah, he's in Australia still. Yeah, in recovery. Yep, still.
What did he say? Get out my garden.
He said, "What are you talking in that high voice for?"
He said. It was something along the lines of,
"Hello."
Pretty sure the restraining order doesn't allow you to be this close with something that we started off with. But
Steve, what about you, Steve?
I think Newcastle need really another striker. Especially if Callum Wilson leaves. There's lots of talk around Callum Wilson departing, but I still think we needed another one anyway. I think there could also be a need, short term, possibly a loan for a good centre half. I know Lloyd Kelly, I believe, is a transfer that will be done by the time we go off air on, the end of this week. I think it's a done deal. I think the 1st of June, it's the end of his contract. I think Lloyd Kelly will come in. I do think we'll be, potentially in the running for Tosin. I do think he's got a few options. We need to make sure that we can get him over the line as well. And I think because we need defensive cover, and we need certainly before Christmas. We're not going to have Jamal Lascelles or Sven Botman back to full fitness. So we definitely need cover at the back. A lot depends on who goes out as well. But yeah, I would like to see another striker in, lads. That is my priority. Somebody who can get goals. Isaac's done fantastically well, scoring over 20 Premier League goals, 25 goals this season. But we need somebody to support him and help him, and needs to be somebody a little bit different. So that's where I'm hedging towards, in the transfer window for Newcastle. As I say, Barry Hogan, who listens to the show regularly and does do the fans forum on a Monday on NEFB Matters for me, is he said we're up to 85 players linked with Newcastle so far, and the transfer window is not even open yet. Crazy, yeah, it is. Okay, quick break, and then we will be back with the X-Files.
From Wickham to Whitley Bay, Stonygate to Shields, Doggy to Darlow Backlane, Steve, Ted and Rye, the North East Footy Breakfast.
Right across the Northeast, the Red, the Toon and the Cat.
Well, come on with the music.
I've got to admit, X-Files. I'm with Steve on that one. I was waiting.
It's not easy, I make it look easy, but it's not easy,
Right? He's just checking there wasn't Newcastle fans singing Jordan Boys.
Yeah,
ridiculous.
Extracting the urine.
Steve, It's Steve's X-Files. X-Files.
Yes, time to open the
tunnel.
X-Files, and as always, I'll look through my Twitter timeline to see what we can and can't talk about. On the list of can't talk about, it's Rolf Harris, who died 12 months ago. We'll not be discussing that. There is also the Batman is on there, which we're definitely going to discuss. What has been trending for the last 48 hours, 115 charges. I think we'll have a quick natter about that. Also, XL bullies are trending. A woman has been mauled to death by her own dog, which is the reason that is trending today. WWE, I want to have a quick chat about that. WWE Raw. I want to know what the lads' wrestling names would be. Prison is on the agenda as well. There's not going to be any jail for anyone with a sentence that's given under.
I don't know after this show.
Let's talk Batman, lads. Batman. Who's your favourite Batman? I'll tell you who mine is. Adam West.
Oh, yes.
The original Batman. The original Batman.
Classic.
Kapow. You just can't beat those. They've aged well as well. If you take it for what it is, I love them. But have you got a favourite Batman, Ryan?
It has to look. I can't go past the Dark Knight series. I mean, just with Heath Ledger as the Joker and that whole series of Christian Bale being the Batman for me just changed my life. One of my favourite movies of all time. So Christian Bale is my Batman and will always be my Batman, and everyone else is wrong.
Okay, Ted, Batman fan?
Yeah, absolutely. It's such a tough one, but I would probably go a little bit left field. I love Michael Keaton. Michael Keaton is my Batman for me. Those first two movies, they're just fantastic. The score of them was brilliant. It just suited the whole thing. And Michael Keaton got absolutely panned before he got it. It just absolutely brilliant. Love Michael Keaton. But the best one of all time for me is actually from the animated series, and bless him, he's no longer with us. Kevin Conroy voiced Batman in the animated series, and he was just phenomenal. He just got the very essence of what Batman was. A close one, or a tie between Michael Keaton and Kevin Conroy for me.
Daz, have you got a favourite Batman?
I mean, I'm a traditional Batman fan. So for me, it's got to be Adam West. I would love those. They used to play them on a Saturday morning, and I'd love the big fight scenes. Where they're fighting each other, and they'd always have that thing, wouldn't they? Batman would throw a punch, and they'd say "to pow."
Pow.
No, they had China in his hands. Yeah, we go.
Wow.
Thank you for that one. We're here all week. Only for 1 week more.
Not next week, but it can.
Adam West for me. I think it is a childhood thing. They were a massive part of my childhood. I had that little Batmobile car that I would play with all the time. It's Adam West for me.
Okay, good stuff. What else have we got in the X-Files? Well, 115 charges. Well, that applies, obviously, to Manchester City, and they won the league for fourth year in a row, never been done in the Premier League. An amazing achievement. Pep Guardiola has won everything at Man City, and talk about him potentially coming towards the end of his managerial career at Man City. But these 115 charges won't go away, Ted. Lots of people taking to Twitter to have a pop. Mainly, it has to be said, Arsenal and Liverpool fans, and Everton and Nottingham Forest fans, because of the fact that they've had points deductions, and people breaking down those charges and saying, well, hold on a minute, why is it taking so long when you managed to fast track our particular punishments? They've got a point, I guess, haven't they? They've got a point.
Look, it's going to rattle on forever. I mean, it's not like Liverpool fans to have a moan about something, is it? Let's be honest. But it is going to come a cropper eventually. And listen, I think we know the reason why it's been kicked so far down the road, and literally, it's because they've just got better solicitors. Let's be honest with you. They're able to wrap this up in legal red tape and boot it far, far down the road. And with it being so many charges, of course it takes that bit more time to unpick it all. They are much more complex charges, from my understanding, they're much more complex charges that Man City are facing than what Forest and Everton have done. That's not to say that Everton and Forest are like, that they shouldn't be treated specially just because theirs were easy to unpick and charge them with. They've still broke the rules at the end of the day, so they can't have a complaint about that. Whereas obviously Liverpool and the likes, Man United will be probably hammering on the door as well, just to get the noisy neighbours in trouble. Yeah, it's just complex and it's legal jargon. But yes, I absolutely agree. It does need sorting out and crack on and dish out the punishment if they've done wrong.
Right, we can understand why Forest and Everton are upset at this, can't we? And why this is trending.
Yes, 100%. Yes, I mean you just feel sorry for those fans, and I said it a couple of weeks ago with Middlesbrough. If we were in the Premier League and we were behind Nottingham Forest and Everton, who have broken the rules and been charged, you would still feel hard done by that. You've done the right thing and still been relegated. Well, it's exactly the same as how Arsenal and all that are feeling now. They've done the right thing. They've kept within the. They've had no charges laid against them or anything like that. And Man City have gone and won it for a fourth time in a row, albeit under speculation. So it's just fuel for the fire, isn't it? Arsenal feel hard done by. They feel like the world's against them. And this is just fuel to that, and it's a solid argument, because until we find out what these charges are and what they how badly or non-severe they are, we're only judging that they've broken the rules and done it by a lot more than we've ever seen any other club do, and now we're just waiting to see what comes of it. But I'd be equally frustrated if I was an Arsenal fan right now.
Yeah, it does. It is frustrating, isn't it, when it seems to be one rule for one and one rule for another, despite the fact that, they might be complicated. There are some charges in there which people have highlighted on their tweets, that could have been dealt with. Why deal with it all in the same at the same time, And we know Richard Masters has said it will be dealt with in due course, but, still no date.
Yeah, I mean, did he say he's got a date? I think he's
might
got
have
a date.
A date.
Yeah, I think I heard that the other day. He knows the date, but he's not saying what the date is, which is just, the whole thing's a bit of a farce, isn't it? And as has marred, what is a brilliant achievement for them, winning the league 4 times. No one's done it before. And somebody said to me the other day about this. Look what teams like Chelsea and Manchester United have done over recent years, over 10, 15-year periods, where they've spent ridiculous amounts of money to buy the league. Chelsea, when Abramovich came in, and I say buy the league, what I mean by that is, buy the top players, spend the most amount of money to win the league. That's what I mean by that. Let me just clarify that. I wasn't suggesting the other. So, we've seen Manchester United, spend, whatever it is, 2 billion over the last 8 years, 10 years. We've seen Chelsea do it over the last, 4 or 5 years, where they've spent 2 billion, and kept within the restrictions. Man City have done is they've done that over a couple of years. They've done it over a shorter period. So they've just done the same as what every other of the big club with money has done. So what's wrong with that? I don't buy into that. I think, they knew what the rules were. The rules were put in place, for a reason. There's another argument about, well, it doesn't apply in other leagues, in other countries, so, surely that should be playing into it. It doesn't. Let's get this sorted. Let's get Man City, through the same system that the Premier League have put everyone else through. And let's just, get them into the Conference League or whatever needs to be done and move on.
Okay, WWE RAW. I presume that means WWE Raw. Yeah, I'm not really a wrestling fan, as you can tell. Even going back to the days of Big Daddy and Giant Haystacks. Not for me, I'm afraid. But maybe the lads are into wrestling. Rye, I've got a feeling you might be a wrestling fan.
No, I'm not really, mate. The only sort of fighting sort of scene. No, I mean, I grew up watching Eddie Guerrero and
you used
all that
the helium thing there when you went, what?
I'm just shocked because it's like it's predictable American sport. Well, if you can call it sport, ballet maybe. I thought right. Oh,
hello, Ted.
No. Yeah, Ted's cutting out a little bit, but no, I'm not a big WWE fan. I was when I was a kid, not so much these days after learning it was scripted and all that sort of stuff. So, but when I was growing up, I did love John, Eddie Guerrero, Triple H, The Rock, all that sort of stuff. But yeah, no, the only sort of I love my NFL, love my ice hockey, love most American sports, but never really. What?
Are you auditioning for Doctor Who there, Ted?
Yeah, you break it up. You're coming through on a mixed line.
Am I breaking up?
Yeah, it's you, mate. Yeah.
I thought it was right. I do apologise. Sorry, right.
What?
Pardon?
Great radio, this.
Absolutely. Keep talking, right. Keep talking. I'll cut him off.
Yeah, so no, I think for me the WWE when I learnt that it was scripted, Stevie lad, that's when I went away from it, because as I said, when I was a kid, I absolutely loved it, frothed on it, thought it was fantastic the way it was written. But as I got older into my teenage years, and also just a couple of stories that came out of there. I don't know if anyone knows the Chris Benoit story, Eddie Guerrero passing away with steroid abuse. It kind of soured it for me with all those sort of really misaligned mistreatment of their stars. And then obviously learning it was scripted, I just went away from it, and it just became a bit too fake for me. And still love my American sports, as I said, gridiron, NFL, ice hockey. I watch them religiously. But yeah, WWE I've went away from because of the stories, a couple of the drama stories that just upset me as a kid, and then obviously learning it was scripted as well was never a thing. But love The Rock, and hope that the WWE can get to a place where it's not as scripted.
So give us your wrestling name, Rye, would you, if you were going to be a wrestler?
Ooh, if I was going to be a wrestler, I'd probably be Rye the Loudmouth. Yeah, Rye the Loudmouth. I think I'm not too good in a ring because I've got one shoulder, but I tell you what, I will I'll chew your ear off, sort of thing. That'll be my finishing move, is the chew your ear off, and I think that'll be my finishing move for sure.
I've got a one for Ted. Ted, are you back?
Okay, yeah.
Is he
No,
back?
he's not back.
Ted back?
No,
The
no.
Mac and
No, he's not
Mauler,
back.
I think, would be good for Ted.
Oh, like that.
Yeah. Daz, are you a wrestling
Mac and
fan?
Mauler.
Like you, Steve, I'm a
Can't stand it.
Saturday afternoon wrestling fan. The whole American thing. I don't think I've watched anything longer than 30 seconds of that stuff. I enjoyed that film Fighting with My Family. I don't know if you saw that a few years back.
Yeah.
That was a really good film with Florence Pugh, is it? And
Ray Ripley's story, wasn't it? Was that the one?
Yeah. Really enjoyed that. But no, I've got no time for it. I'll be honest. It just doesn't appeal to me. And my boys are 20 now, and I think a lot of their pals, when they were growing up, were into the American stuff, and thankfully they saw it for what it was and weren't interested either. So yeah, we've been a wrestle free house, but I see that some people absolutely adore it, and fair play to them.
Okay, well, I will reopen my X-Files at the end of the week. We're going to have our final check on how the roads and rail is doing, and we will be back after this little break.
Together across the northeast.
The two black cat and the red.
Geordie boys.
All right, okay, all right.
Welcome back to welcome back to the Northeast Footy Break Show. I just need to hear Ted's. I just need to hear Ted's wrestling name. You gave yourself one before you got cut off, mate. What was it? He's gone again.
He's gone again. Oh no!
Where's the Mac and Mauler gone? Where's the Mac and Mauler gone?
Ted, are you there with us?
I'm back.
He's back. And he's back.
He's back.
The other Tinternet came back as well. Yeah.
All right, then. What was your wrestling name?
On me wrestling name, well, obviously, I mean, it's bona fide. I'll tell you what I eat. You know that. You can see that by the state of me. Kebab of the Hut.
Very good.
Yes, Kebab of the Hut's my wrestling name, without a doubt.
Brilliant stuff. All right, we're into the last 15 minutes of the show. Ian Wright stepped down from Match of the Day, lads. I'm not sure whether he was a big favourite of yours and the listeners, but he had quite an emotional farewell. And I've got to be honest, he gave something that we hadn't had on Match of the Day. Match of the Day was always quite formal, very straight, very honest, and the characters were almost drained out of the people who used to be on there. I mean, we grew up with the likes of Jimmy Hill, of course, Bob Wilson, and people like that. I mean, it was what you were used to. But Ian Wright came in and just basically blew the whole stage managed stuff out the window and gave it a bit of character. And his celebrations that were often covered when Arsenal scored, and his dejection when Arsenal got beat. It was great to see, just real emotion and a real character, and someone who's done a hell of a lot on there. But just want to know who the lads' favourite pundits are. In football in general, can be anybody really. And if you've got a favourite, 0330 043 2002, send them in. You can still got time on WhatsApp. For you, Ted, first, is there a standout these days? We have so much choice these days to watch football, so many channels. You've got a multitude of people you could pick from. Is there one that really stands out for you?
Yeah, absolutely. And I might come across biased, but it really isn't. I think you've got to look at entertainment value, and that's what Wright did, by the way. You're right to point that out. Ian Wright brought, I'm going to use a word that is rarely used, Ian Wright brought razzmatazz to Match of the Day.
Yeah.
Just a complete breath of fresh air, and the show will miss him. Undoubtedly, he's highly entertaining to watch, Ian Wright, and he will be a big miss. But for me, he's just absolute box office every single time this guy speaks. Everyone hangs on every word. He has got a sense of humour. For all people might not think it, but I just love Roy Keane. On any couch, watching any game, being part of any panel, Roy Keane is just so... He is insightful when you cut through the drama and the sarcasm and the cutting remarks. He is really insightful as well. Keane, for me, is just gold to watch. Love watching him.
Okay, what about you, Wright?
Jeff Stelling, I know he doesn't do it anymore, but Jeff Stelling, obviously fantastic. Hartlepool lad as well. I used to love him, hosting it, and he was fantastic. The way he was just funny, and he knew he wasn't scared of taking a fight on, sort of thing. So I absolutely love Jeff Stelling, and probably Cammy as well. I know that's probably too close to Burrow, but I don't really care because that's who I like, and it's Jeff Stelling and Cammy.
Yeah,
great coming.
Yeah, great.
I've got to be honest. It'll be a surprise to you guys, but I mean, Roy Keane is probably one of my favourite pundits. I think he's just honest, and I mean, putting aside the Manchester United link and the Sunderland link, he's just he's good value.
Yeah,
I think
not wrong.
He makes for an interesting view. I do like the combination of Carragher and Neville. I do like it. I think that they do bounce off each other. I do like the fact that they don't just give a one-sided view. And they're not biased. Gary Neville is very, very critical of Manchester United, and rightly so at this moment in time. And I think that's great. And I think that's what makes it more bearable. These are players I didn't really I didn't really like because of the rivalry that we had with them back in the 90s. But I do like that punditry. I think Alan Shearer is again probably he's a great representative for Newcastle. He does a good job as far as Match of the Day is concerned. I know some people probably think that he's a bit straight battered and plays the game, but I guess he's working on the BBC, isn't he? So it is though for me probably the Roy Keane and the Gary Neville combination on Sky that I like. Daz, is there one for you?
Yeah, well, I mean, I could lie, but I'm a massive fan of Shearer. I think he's brilliant on Match of the Day. He says it like it is, and he's obviously got a Newcastle slant on it, but also I think when he does co-commentating on 5 Live as well, I think he's great on that as well. He doesn't do that as often probably as he should, but I like that. And another Geordie actually as well, I can't believe I'm saying this, who I thought has come over the last few years and knows his stuff. And when he speaks, I'm interested, because he's got something interesting to say. He's not trying to cause controversy. He's just telling it like it is with a really good insight, and that's Shea Given. I think he's I think he could fill the righty space that is left. We have too many pundits that are wishy-washy, that are there because they've done a little bit of radio, or they've done a little bit of punditry and they're thrust into it. There's so many, isn't there, around at the moment, and of varying quality. I think given, again, he's played the game, he's played under so many managers, so many games, and even, yes, he has a goalkeeping hat on when he talks, but I think he knows so much more than that, and I think he's a great pundit too.
Okay, following on from that, we'll finish off with your best Premier League manager ever after Pep Guardiola won 4 Premier League titles in a row. Is he the best that's ever been? And here's your choice, lads: Fergie, Jurgen Klopp, Arsene Wenger, or Jose Mourinho. Which would you say has a chance to be the best out of that lot? For me, it goes on trophies, lads. Pep is the best. He's done it. I mean, I know he hasn't done it for 20 years, but he's done 4 in a row now. But he's up there with. He's got to be up there with Fergie now, in terms of what they've achieved. I think Fergie does it on trophies though, doesn't he? I mean, how many Premier League titles did Manchester United win? I mean, I think it's between the two of them. It's a battle of Manchester. I know Klopp did remarkably well at Liverpool. Finally got them that Premier League title that they wanted to get. Arsene Wenger, of course, went a full season unbeaten, and Jose came in. It has to be said, with Abramovich's money, he's probably a rank outsider on this list. But it's between Pep and Fergie. I am still going to say Pep. I'm going to say best Premier League manager. If we're not going to purely give it on how many trophies you've won, but my justification will be on the way that he's done it. And the different formations, and the fact that he played 1 full season without a striker, chose to do that. I just think there's been something about Man City which it's better to watch. But do you disagree, Rai? What's your thoughts? Who is the best Premier League manager ever for you?
No, I can't disagree with you. Pep Guardiola. I mean, what he's done. Obviously, he's had the finances and the backing to be able to do it. But he's still, the way he speaks is just so intellectual. I mean, he was talking about Jurgen Klopp leaving just yesterday, and maybe I've got short-term memory, but he said to me that he didn't say to me like he sat down for a beer. He said he told reporters that he's going to miss Jurgen because he could never really tactically get one over him. He said he knows how he can break teams down. He says he looks at a team, he looks at a manager, and he goes, right, this is how we're going to get one over him. He's never been able to do that against Middlesbrough, though, by the way. But he said Jurgen's going to be, I'm going to miss him so much. And he almost got emotional because he said he's been such a great competitor. And it was just incredible to see the mindset of Pep, of how intelligent and football intelligent he is in terms of the battles that he wants, and he knows, he goes, I can break this team down and I could do this, and he's just so quick-witted, and his football brain is just immense, and everyone across the countryside is implementing some sort of Pep style of football. The reason that we are playing this whole 1 striker, 3 attackers behind it, or wing backs, is because of him. Most of the current day football is because of him, and it's the formations you see, the classic sort of style that you want to call football of today is because of Pep, and for that you can't say that he's not the best.
Ted?
I honestly thought I was going to have to roll my sleeves up and have a scrap about this, but Pep, yeah, I completely agree with you. For me, I think if he'd given the longevity, nobody stays in a job as long as what Alex Ferguson does now, so it's kind of almost unfair to compare the two. Sir Alex, absolutely incredible manager, by the way. To win what he won over the period of time, just incredible. But Pep, as Rye's kind of alluded to a little bit there, to completely change the way that football is played in the Premier League and across Europe as well. It started to go across there as well. Fullbacks tucking in to be central midfielders. Looking for goalkeepers that are as good with their feet as what they are with their hands, and almost playing a goalkeeper as a backup central defender at times, and being able to play the ball out, and just playing the most wonderful possession-based football. It's incredible what he's achieved. Take the trophies out of the equation for a second, and what he's managed to achieve in terms of changing the game for the better as well. I mean, we're seeing more goals. We're seeing a better technique of footballer now. For me, it's Pep, and he's going to take an awful lot of beating, and I do hope he stays in the Premier League for a little longer than what he's hinting at.
Daz?
I'm going to disagree with you.
Oh.
It's Sir Alex for me, and not just because of the 13 Premier League titles and the Champions Leagues and all those things. You've just talked about someone who has come and revolutionised the game in Pep, and the way that people play and the way that people copy. Arguably Sir Alex did exactly the same. Yes, over a longer period of time. Did he have the wealth and the riches that Pep had? Maybe towards the end, maybe he did, but Fergie sort of did revolutionise what happened in the Premier League. For how many years? 20 years was it? If you finished above them, then you won the league. They were awesome. They showed teams how to win things with kids. You never win things with kids. Well, he proved them wrong. He rebuilt that side over and over again, sometimes overnight, and still went on to win things. Yes, things went wrong when he left, but I think he brought about Fergie time. Arguably, that man has had as much influence, if not more, than what Pep's had of late. So I think for me it's Sir Alex. But there is another manager that no one has mentioned that I think needs a mention
Michael
here.
Carrick.
In terms of the Premier League greatest, and that's someone who has worked miracles with a number of teams. You're looking at Newcastle, Blackburn, West Ham, Bolton, Crystal Palace, Everton, West Brom, Leeds, Sunderland. Who can deny the effect that Sam Allardyce has had on the Premier League?
That's nearly as bad as Geordie Boy's taking this.
All right, okay, there we go.
And on that bombshell, that brings an end to the North East Footy Brekky show.
Well, it's been a good one. It's been a good one.
It
has, hasn't it? Belter of a show.
Yeah.
For our last one ever. Yep, good one.
Thanks, lads.
Yeah, cheers.
Great show, Steve. Well done, mate.
Yeah, nice one.
And see you tomorrow morning.
See you tomorrow morning. Coming up after the news at 9, it's all the usual mid-morning nonsense. We've got a fantastic guest. We've got the quiz that's sweeping the nation, and we've got you. Thank you so much for being here with The Breakfast Show. It will be available as a podcast just very, very soon. Go to your podcast provider, search for The Cat, The Tune and The Red, and of course it'll be repeated this afternoon between 4 and 6 across the network. Have a good one, guys.
Thank you for having
Ta-da.
us.
And the walls kept tumbling down in the city that we love. Grey clouds all over the hills, bringing darkness from above. But if you close your eyes, does it almost feel like nothing changed at all? And if you close your eyes, does it almost feel like you've been here before? How am I gonna be an optimist about this? How am I gonna be an optimist? you close your eyes,